All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call today's meeting of the Architectural Review Board to order. There's no old business, so we'll dig right in. We have a lot of applications. So we're going to try to get these done as fast as possible. So let's start with ARP 2025-44, 294 Riverview Road.
And if you're here to represent the application, can you please hit the raise hand button? Is there anybody here for 294 Riverview Road?
Did you say 294 Riverview Road, sir?
Yes.
That is myself, Seth Heidick. Hi.
Hi. Are you the owner or?
I'm here, sir. I can hear you.
So what is your role?
Oh, I'm the owner of the home
Okay.
and the person applying for the permit for siding and windows.
Okay. So what we're looking at is just new siding, the same siding all the way around?
A little bit different. It's cedar and plywood, and we're changing it to a midnight blue vinyl with white trim all around. And I can show you the computer generated existing photos and current and future state photos if you'd like to see that.
Yeah. Do you have an actual photo though? Of the house?
Yes, of the house, I do. I've all prepped and loaded up. I just need to figure out how to navigate this with sharing my screen and getting that on. So you want to see that, I assume, sir?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. How do I change my screen to am I sharing my screen now? If I log off this and log on, let me see what happens here. One moment.
Just hit the button at the bottom and hit share. There's a green button.
Yes, I see it. Okay, great. I've done that now. So this is the existing
You
home.
have to click on the document and then hit
Share.
there you go. I think that worked.
I believe you should be seeing the front of the home now.
Yes.
Okay, great. That is the front. And the difference is we're moving from the batten style going up into a vertical midnight blue in vinyl. And then, excuse me 1 second while I learn to advance to the next picture. I'm still getting a little, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out how to advance the next photo. Hold on. Okay. And this would be this photo here is the back of the home. And this is all going to be vertical midnight blue. The windows are all being replaced in the same white trim matching. And all these windows at each level matching to white trim. And this would be the west side of the house. And same thing, it's all going to horizontal midnight blue, except for this area up here in the very top of the house. It's going to change to a vertical batten style. And that is because, excuse me 1 moment, sir, I'm trying to pull up another photo. My apologies. Okay, this is the east side of the house, and it's going to be vertical midnight blue.
We've not been able to, we can only see one picture. We haven't been able to see any other picture.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Having a little, as we used to call it in the military, headspace and timing. This is the east side of the house, and it's going to be vertical lines of midnight blue. Board and batten can only come down, I believe, it's 18 feet, and there's going to be a white line here. And the reason it's going to be vertical board and batten is because it's going to match the opposite side of the house, which I'm going to show you in one moment. Excuse me while I load another photo.
The vertical board and batten, that's vinyl also,
Yes,
but not the same shiplap.
it is the same. It's the same material, and I can tell you what the material is if you'd like shortly. Of one's vertical, and then 1 second, sir, while I load another photo. Okay. Now let me figure out how to share these. I'll be right with you in one moment. Can you see this? What photo do you see now, sir?
And nothing. We can actually share the application here. It's just blank.
I'll share. Here it comes. There is I figure out how to do it now. There is a third floor balcony level, and this style is vertical board and batten.
Okay.
And this is being maintained as vertical, along with this top roof area vertical for just more elegance. And then the opposite side of the house, let me share this photo. On this opposite side of the east view of the house, it's going to be vertical until it reaches the final loft floor to match board and batten above, with the white trim line that comes along the board and batten going across. And what it will look similar to when completed. Let me pull up the computer generated image. One moment, I'm fighting the application. Can't get in here. I know this is open. Brothers. I'm pulling up a computer generated image from the vendor. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is the vendor's computer rendered model. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
This would be the midnight blue trim, which this is the front of the house here, and these are vertical. And to maintain the board and batten appearance there's a balcony here, and these are going to be vertical, and these are going to be vertical. And matching on the top vertical area here and vertical, and everything else, excuse me, these are horizontal, and then the rest are vertical, just to maintain the appearance of these three upper areas as a vertical trim here in board and batten. And these are vertical, means the top layer on each side's horizontal. All midnight blue vinyl siding, and the vendor on that is a CertainTeed monogram clapboard D4 midnight blue.
So again, the vinyl siding that you're mounting as shiplap, is it exactly the same siding that you're gonna mount vertical for?
Yes, The, excuse me, it is, the vinyl siding, is Certainteed Monogram Clapboard D4 Midnight Blue. And it's the same company, Certainteed Board and Batten S7 Midnight Blue for the board and batten vertical pieces.
Okay, so it's a different product. Can your neighbors see your house, or can the house be seen from the street?
I can, I have one neighbor, the Azizes at 292. They can see my house through some trees. Most every other house is obscured from.
So the vinyl siding, I have to admit, I haven't seen anybody install vinyl siding in Irvington. Did you consider more of a sustainable material like hardy board?
Well, it is a combination of plywood and cedar now. The house, as it's surrounded very closely by trees, has had woodpecker issues. I just purchased a house in February, and there was $1,000 of woodpecker damage even on closing week, and they've been back in the area, as well as the dampness from the trees creates this effect. So that was the reason to move towards vinyl siding, as well as more maintenance, being more maintenance friendly. I'm having a huge amount of woodpecker issues. And what triggered this was there was a leak in this top floor that poured through in the office 5 days after purchasing it, which required me to do to install a new roof. And the leak is also coming through the siding, down the walls and the windows. So we're replacing the roof, all the windows, and all the siding. And I'm a disabled veteran. It is a little bit cost prohibitive with to do it in cedar wood or plywood. And with the maintenance issues and the woodpecker issues, the vinyl seems a better choice.
Okay, so you didn't consider hardy board. Hardy board is like
A
concrete.
hardwood, sir?
No, hardy. It's a cementatious board. It's like concrete. That's what most of the projects going through here now are using hardy board, not wood.
That was, I'm happy to look into it. That didn't come up when talking to particular vendors about it.
Well,
I have an absence of information on that. I'd be glad to look into it further.
I would just suggest you do it for value of your house long term.
Okay, thank
But,
you.
Since this house is not viewable pretty much from the street, I'm not really gonna have a problem with the vinyl, but I do suggest you have a look.
I will. Thank you for that recommendation. I'll check into it before the final purchase is made.
Okay. Any other questions?
What is the name of the current color? Is it the same as?
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's hard to hear you. Let me try to turn up my volume. You said the name of the color?
The original color, is it very similar to the color you're installing?
The color is, let me switch back to let me switch back to the existing home photos. Give me 1 second and I'll pull those up. It's kind of a black and beige. It was made in 1977. It's 1 second. I'll bring up the original photos, having a little bit of difficulty pulling that exact up. I'm sorry, I'm not as familiar with the system as you guys are. It says sharing is paused. I need to bring that back. Trying to find it. The share button again is a bit missing on me. Okay. Let me go back and show you a photo of the existing color. The existing color is kind of a dark blackish, more somber. You could use the adjective for it. This would be the dark midnight blue, a bit more energetic, but still in a darker tone.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions? All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the application as it stands. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. All right, you're done.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, and
I'll
thank
look
you
at
for
that hardywood.
exactly. I'm going to look into the hardywood. Thank you very much. Let me unshare the screen, or can you automatically do that yourself?
care of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on, next is ARB 2025-45, 16 Barney Park.
Why don't I see my picture? Start the video. Okay.
Says your camera's off.
Yeah, I can't figure out why it's not going on. It says that the video is on, but I don't see anything happen.
We can do it from here.
All right. Yeah, if we could pull up the floor plan, it's a kitchen renovation. We're actually pulling the kitchen from the back of the house to the front.
Can
And
you
in
say
doing
your-
so, we
Sorry, can you say your name and your role is?
apologize. I'm Lou DeMacy, project architect.
Can you share your screen?
Okay, can you do it?
Yeah, I'm there now. We seeing a floor plan?
I see your file explorer.
It says that I'm sharing. How about now?
Yes, got it.
Okay. This is fun. All right. So we are taking the kitchen from the back of the house in this area and moving it to the front of the house. In doing so, we're not changing the front windows or the double side windows here, but we are replacing this window here and two windows in the back along this back wall here with a new sliding glass door. If I can get a picture up. Screen share. You seeing the front of the house now or no?
Now still seeing file explorer. I think all we need to do is see an elevation on the back there while that work is. We can do it here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're seeing now, but I have
see
a
the-
floor.
I see floor plans. Do you have an elevation in that set?
I do. Yep. So here's the side elevation. We're replacing this window here with a double hung window to match the next appropriate size to match the side window here.
Okay,
And we're matching the shutters as well. And then in the back, we are changing these two windows to match, again, the side and the front. And then we're changing this, it's a window and a door there. We're changing it to a sliding door.
that's it.
That's it.
All right. I actually have no questions. Anybody else on the board?
No.
All right, no questions. I'm going to move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's that?
I think the next
Oh,
application also.
So next is ARB 2025-46, the same house for fence.
Hi,
Hi.
this is Kay Blackwell. I'm sorry you can't see me. I'm the owner of the house, 16 Barney Park. Apologies, I just can't get myself up on screen to say hello.
Okay, we can see a yellow line across.
Okay, superb. So the idea or the request is to replace the current fence with a new one. And actually, I've just realized that I made a mistake here, so my apologies, but I can talk you through it. So there's an existing kind of post and beam fence here. It goes across the back of this driveway to the house, and it's full of ivy and rotten. So we would like to replace this, but where it is, so literally following this line and keeping a gate here. And then there's the same post and beam fence here, which goes across the back. And then it kind of cuts into this deck area, and there's a gate here. And then there's nothing here, which leads down to the brook at the back, these stone steps. And then you get this kind of deer fence situation here. It's actually used for like a dog run. So what I would like to do is take down this fence, which is like a kind of square in the middle of the lot, and then put this fence where you see the yellow line. This fence, the deer fence, as you can see, is like a black metal and wire fence. It's pretty ugly. So I would like to put the wooden kind of post and beam fence all the way across the back. And it also kind of gives some indication of where the land drops off. This yellow line is, I mean, it's approximate, obviously, but it's basically where the land starts dropping down to the bank of the river or the creek. So let me, and assuming you're happy with that kind of general concept, I can show you pictures of the existing fence and then the type that we're looking to put in.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So this is the existing fence. This is the dog park bit of it. So you can kind of see this from the road. Kind of goes around the side of the house on the left-hand side. And this is kind of what, the sum total of it. So this would all be coming down. So you would just have an open lawn. Yeah. I think that's it, actually. And so then the fence that we would propose to put in would kind of go to the right of where this, the far line of this fence is. Kind of where those stones are, there's actually a pile of logs there, and then the land drops off. So I would like some kind of, border / indication that the land drops there. And then I'll show you what the new fence looks like, or hopefully will look like. Where are we? Okay, sorry, bear with me 2 seconds. That picture seems to have disappeared. Yeah. And so the new fence will hopefully look something like this. So supernatural, will weather over time, and it should just be kind of more of a straight shot across the back of the property.
Are you attaching the deer mesh to the?
Wasn't my
Right.
intention, no.
You don't have a problem with deer?
We do, but they actually get over the height of the existing black fence, so I'm not quite sure what height we would have to do to stop them getting in.
Okay, I have no questions. Other questions? No. All right, I move to approve the application as submitted. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. All right,
Fantastic. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
sure. All right, moving on to ARB 2025-47, 25 Langdon Avenue.
Do you hear me again?
Yes.
All right, great. Lou DeMacy again, and this one's for Mr. and Mrs. West. I'm gonna try to share a picture. Let's see how this works. Lost my screen.
I can share.
We can do it here.
Yeah, if you can help me out with that, I'd appreciate it. I even lost the picture where I'm seeing you guys. It's like crazy. So you're looking at the floor plan. This one was a relatively simple job here. The existing kitchen where you see we're demoing. Are you looking at the floor plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Demo and proposed.
Right. So the demo plan, you can see the kitchen, the back of the kitchen has basically two swinging doors that swing out and a fixed panel in the middle. It makes the kitchen seem really tight and small. So if you go to the proposed plan, we're going to be keeping one of these swinging doors and replacing the panel and the other swinging door with a little bit of a wall and a window above a sink. So just to make a better flow for the kitchen, because the kitchen's really tight and the island that's there now is really unusable.
Okay.
So this one is in the back of the house. It's very you can't see it from the front. So I didn't draw on the elevations, but I do have pictures of the existing if you need to see that.
Is there a window schedule? What type of window does it match?
Yeah, so yep, it's gonna match the color. It's going to be an Anderson window that's a casement.
Okay.
And the
I-
existing door is an Anderson type door with it's gonna remain.
I actually don't need to see it. Any questions? No questions. Okay. I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Right, next is ARB 2025-4823 Hillside Terrace.
Hello, Andrew Aniceto. My wife's coming in. Her name's Emily Gutman. She's coming in, and we're building a fence. Let me share my screen.
You're the owner?
Yes. Here, can you guys see this?
Yes.
So we're building a brand new fence on the left and right side of our house. This is Hillside Terrace here. We've got a fence that's going to go along the edges on the right and the left, and then two gates. All going to be aluminum and black.
So it's, when you say aluminum, it's just the vertical,
Say it again, I'm sorry?
it's a rectilinear vertical type fence. It's, I didn't, there's.
Yeah, they're vertical. They're vertical.
It's just a standard.
Pictures of the fence. Do we have? Yeah. I think I have that on one of these. 1 second. There it is. It's a black aluminum fence that would look like this.
But do
Okay.
you want,
All right. It's good.
do any of our pictures of the house show like Dan and Lee's fence? Because that might be helpful. Yeah.
It would look here on the right. Would look just like that.
Sorry, I'm late.
No problem. That's not your house though, right?
No,
No.
on the right, that's our neighbor's fence. So we're looking to match the same fence that they have, and we're using the same company that they used.
Okay. So you're not putting a fence on this side.
We are, because their fence is on their property line, and so we're gonna put a fence on our property line, which will be about 2 feet away from their fence. But otherwise, we would have had to do an easement and go through another survey process and a legal document. And so we thought that it would be easier and pretty much a similar cost to just build our own fence on that line.
Okay. That's strange, but is there a way for the neighbor to get into that 2 feet? Because it's just going to collect leaves.
There's going to be a way. There'll be a gap.
Between the
that's-
two fences, but it will be on
It'll be
their.
small. Yeah.
Okay, and they know you're doing this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This section where it's the 2 fences, is that viewable by the street?
Say again.
Can you see this from the street, 2 fences?
I guess from over here, like just over the. It's not going to be very visible from the street, though.
Because
It
the
goes down
fence won't start until the
concrete here.
concrete in the
Yeah.
backyard.
I see. Okay. And then the other side of the house, is there a fence?
No.
No,
that's
there's
a
nothing
brand-
on the other side.
Over here on the right.
I don't have any other questions. Anybody else? No. All right, I'm gonna move to approve the application as written. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is 2025-56 South Broadway, sign and awning.
Good evening. This is Tyler from Sign Extreme, and I am presenting the application for Siffone's Italian Restaurant, which is the old club car. What we're currently looking to do is replace with recovering two existing with new canvas material. Okay. This basically is proposed
We got a really bad connection. You're
replace the
frozen.
hanging.
Hang on. He booted out.
he- Yeah, I didn't boot him out. I think he lost connection up here.
Sorry about that. Okay, so let me share my screen again. So as I was saying, I'm looking to replace the curved sign that's currently there and the two awnings with new canvas material.
So the awnings are the existing infrastructure, but a different material, blue stripe. Is that right?
Exactly. Utilizing the existing frames and stripping down the old material and just putting on this new stripe material.
I can share the screen.
Okay, we're going to share it from here because we just need to get a quick look.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Still there? Is there any other?
He's here. Tyler?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. That's clear.
Is there any other pictures that show the color of the?
You should actually have a sample of the material there. There's a fabric swatch of the actual canvas.
Oh, it's green. Is that right?
It's a striped material, so it's an off-white and it's a green color
Okay.
to match the carved sign as well.
So the sign is white background, green lettering?
It's like an off-white. It's an off-white with the green that we would be matching, as close as possible to this fabric swatch.
Okay. All right, I have no questions. Anybody else? All right, no questions. I move to approve the application as stated. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right, next up is ARB 2025-51, 28 South Ferris Street.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. My name is Rob Jones. I'm the architect working for my clients, Jack and Kelly Coomber at 28 South Ferris Street, just down the street from where you guys are at now. And I'll be presenting today the exterior elevation changes proposed for the front facade of their home. Are you seeing sheet A001?
Yes.
Let me know when you guys see sheet A001.
We can see it.
Oh,
Go
excellent.
ahead.
All right. So as I said, this is 28 South Ferris Street, exterior elevation changes. The scope of work is going to pertain to the front facade and essentially restoring the various architectural elements, primarily having to do with the railings located on the front. So the scope of work will not touch the facade of the actual residence itself, but rather it will just pertain to the porch. A couple of things to point out as I get started here is that the home is located in the Irvington Historic District. It is a contributing building, but it is not listed on the National Historic Landmark, or not listed as a National Historic Landmark. With that, all work will conform to the Irvington Historic District Guide and Recommendations, dated June 5th, 2017. The property is also located in the View Preservation District. However, none of the improvements proposed in this application have any impact on the westerly views to the Hudson and will not create any new visual clutter. Next page, we'll just take a look at some of the existing photos. You'll see the wood elements are currently, there's currently some significant rot occurring especially at the base of the posts, and the floorboards themselves are occurring some significant rot as well. Also occurring are some chipping and some deterioration of the concrete step and of the concrete sidewalk extension located at the landing of the 2 stairs. We have some photos of the abutting properties as well. Property survey. Once again, the scope of work is limited to the open porch located on the east side. Here's our existing floor plan, essentially our demo plan. The items dashed will be demoed and replaced with new, all replaced in kind, except for the railing, of course, which is currently just a couple of 2x4s nailed together. And so what we will propose is our proposed floor plan essentially looking the exact same. Here's the demo exterior elevation, so essentially our existing conditions. Again, the existing conditions from the north, the existing conditions from the south, and our proposed exterior elevation from the east. So replacing what is currently the dilapidated handrails with new. We will be repairing all 5 of the wood posts. We will be providing a new light fixture above the door and a few other improvements such as an exterior outlet and a new smart doorbell. The concrete step will also be replaced in kind, and the concrete sidewalk extension will be replaced as well, or repaired, I should say.
Okay, so the only change we're looking at is the balusters and the rail.
That's correct. Yeah, the only bit, really the majority of the visual differences are going to be in the balusters and the railing.
The rest of it's just
Our view.
repair.
That's exactly right. Detail of the baluster spacing, the baluster material, and the finish, which will be proposed white to match existing. And that is it. Thank you.
Right, I have no questions. Anybody else? All right, so I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
All right, next is ARB 2025-52, 94 Main Street.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hi, how is everybody?
good.
Okay, so very briefly, I want to say that my clients, Jason and Allison, are watching online. This is for the bakery that we are building adjacent to the firehouse, and it is in the historical district, and it's a contributing building. And essentially, you've seen
I'm
some of
sorry.
this before.
Sorry to interrupt,
Can you?
but can you
Yeah.
just announce I know you are, but can you announce for the
I'm
record?
sorry, of course. Yes, I'm Mitchell Koch. I'm the architect
Thank you.
for Bliss Bakehouse at 94 Main Street. My office is in Irvington. This image currently on the screen is a rendering I've done, which was approved at our last hearing before the ARB. I think important to show is, if you don't look too close at that fence, but it's a photo rendering of a fence that's meant to match the character of the awnings. We've tried to zhuzh up the building a little bit with some of the black or charcoal detailing, although we're maintaining the white trim around the windows. And essentially what we're here for today is the rear of the building, which, oh, come on, stop. Currently looks like this. Can you see that photo?
Yes.
People are probably gone by and seen it, and we're proposing to add, and we're here today for permission to add a door to transoms or clear story windows and a picture window adjacent to access the bakery from the back, and to build a deck to replace the really shambles that are currently there. In addition, we would be putting in a very short and low-rise ramp from the street to allow someone to roll into the property according to accessibility regulations. Our lighting are going to be these gooseneck lights. Of course, they're dark sky compliant, and we propose to put them over the door and window and then in the back, some of them. In addition, we are asking to put a wood slat screen that will block off the kitchen area of the deck from the rest of the deck. And that is pretty much it. In plan, it would look like this. With the ramp coming here, you can see my cursor with a latched gate, a ramp up to the deck. It's really only about a 3-inch rise. An entrance area, a few steps down to the backyard, and then essentially a working kitchen deck in the back. And then notably, but not really relevant, I think, to the architectural review board, we're keeping all the paving in the rear. We're relocating some planting to a planting bed in the back here, and this thing is going underground. That's going to be our dry well, all right? And the current tree we're not touching in the back. That's sort of the gist of it.
Why are you adding a dry well? Is that you changed?
Would you ask that again, please?
Why did you add a dry well?
Oh, well, because there's a roof leader, which you can see in this photograph coming straight down here.
Okay.
And you can see it coming off of a gutter in the back. They if they had just run it onto the ground, we wouldn't have to do the dry well, but unfortunately, they put it into the sanitary sewer in the cellar. And we're stuck with that, and we have to remediate that. So, because that's not legal. So that's why we have to do the dry well,
Okay.
unhappily. And that's already been approved by the planning board.
Did you see the material on the fence already?
The material of the porch is going to be a vinyl cladding, very traditional look. Let me just show you some. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Basically white, very classical, traditional deck detailing. Now I'm having trouble bringing it up. Where is it? I apologize. I had it right here. You know, if we let the owner in, he's got details that he could show you. I can bow out. But one last look, if you just quickly look at the drawing, it does give the spirit of what we're doing. You know, with essentially a basic rail, caps on the posts.
Mitch, I can show some stuff if you guys want. Hi, this is Jason Breen, one of the owners of 94 Main Street, Blitz Bakehouse. If I can share my screen, I will give you guys a little bit more detail.
Okay.
All right, so just give me 1 second and I will pop this up. Let's see. Just let me pull it up. So as Mitch was saying, I'm just getting my screen up. So can you guys all see my screen now?
Yes.
So this is the other side of the fence. What currently is there. It is pretty dilapidated. It's 4 feet tall. We're going to be replacing it with the same size fence. Just so you guys can get an idea, you can see it's bowing here. If you touch it, it literally will move about 1.5 to 2 feet. It is a current 4-foot privacy fence. So we're gonna replace it with the same size, so there's no additional clutter for views or anything else like that. However, everything else behind it will be hidden. The deck itself, again, like I said, which, you know, the color of the fence and everything else, we picked the colors of everything, charcoal from the Valspar, 250 colors of vintage, back on the guidelines of the historic district, and that was already approved, as Mitch was saying. But so the deck itself will eventually just kind of lead off here. We'll have the gate here. I apologize, I don't have like the drawing of it, but the ramp for ADA access will lead into the back, and then the materials. So again, we went through everything. We tried to go through all of the components of the guidelines, and we tried to make sure that we were going to try to do the lattice work, and we were going to try to make sure we did the as similar to pine boards as possible in tongue and groove. So what we're doing is it's advanced PVC. This is part of Vintage Woodworks, which is something that New England uses for anything similar for decking, just like we would use New England color schemes. And so here it basically will show that the style that we're using, the advanced PVC, will have the similar tongue and groove look of the installation. So it's very similar to what the wood grain that you'll see in your old-fashioned typical vintage decking boards. This is it right here. It's TimberTech. You'll see it here. The difference between it though is that, you know, it has a Class A frame, flame resistance, and it has a minimal, ignition enlightenment. So it's better for flammability. And because we're a commercial space, we wanted to make sure that we were, doing the best we could to make sure we had a safe, safe place as possible. Again, the color of it is a vintage color. I'll show you right here. So this is all from the vintage line, which is, again, falls in line with the the New England colors of, like the required colors that you guys show at the end of the guidelines. We're going to be doing a dark hickory color, which is what you see right there, which is one of the accent colors that's currently in the siding itself that you'll see in the building. This is the railing we're going to use. Again, it is a vinyl. It is an advanced PVC, and you can get a wood grain on it as well, so it will look very similar. So the balusters will look very similar to old school wood grain, but it does have, again, that same flammability, low maintenance, effectiveness that I was talking about with the decking itself. The fence, like I was saying here, we did follow everything that we found in the recommended guidelines as well. We're doing same size. We're doing a scalloped picket fence, which I looked from, like this old house in New England. Scallop fences were from 1940s, which is where the building was built. I had it here. I tried to look it up just to find out what else I could get. This is the look of like the wood grain itself. It will be black though, but it will have the grains that you'll see. It will be again the same height and the same look. And I did try to go through and do as much as I could. And backyard fences, up through 1840s to the 1940s, they did have the picket fence that were very popular then in New England. And finally, like I said, all this was found in the back of your guys' historic district. So I don't know if there's anything else you guys have questions on.
I do not. That was very complete. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No. So I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, next is 2025-53, 14 South Dutcher.
All right, so we have a 17 panel solar system going on the south roof only. The address. Is that easy?
We just need to see the plan view.
One plan. Actual rendering view. So it can only be seen going towards, I think, Main Street.
Okay.
Because it's on the south side of that.
And the neighbors were noticed. You sent the certified.
In my notes, I can find out for sure. Is that part of the planning board's requirements, right?
Solar panel requirement.
Is it in the application, Sarah? I don't think you guys would have accepted it.
That they did do the notice, but it's fine to go. Sorry. One was sent to me after the fact, so it might be this.
Wasn't in there.
It's not in the application, but I'm gonna check my emails, so if you wanna talk about you can make your
Yeah,
presentation.
it's only 7 kilowatts, very small, only 17 panels. Not much more than this, just black on black, regular solar panels.
So that's enough to power this house?
Hmm?
That's enough to power the most of the house?
Probably not,
Okay.
but I mean, there would be no benefit of putting it on the other roof because it doesn't face the sun.
Wow. Okay.
They're basically, this is all they can get.
Yeah, I don't really have any questions. Just make sure we noticed all the neighbors and nobody's online raising their hand.
Nobody's raising their hand to speak. There's no comments in the chat, I just find. Those are all recycled. Yes, they did do the mailing.
Okay.
I got it.
All right, so I have no questions. Anybody else? All right, so I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thanks.
Have a great night. Sorry for coming.
Dial in next time.
I will. Thank you.
All right, next up is ARP 2025-5416 North Dutch. Solar panels again.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pasquale from Solar Energy New York. We are the contractor for 16 North Datcher. I see the owner, Mr. Kaplan, is also online. What we're proposing today here, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. What we are proposing here today is similar to the presentation we just saw. Rooftop mounted solar system. We have 22 panels. We have on both sides of the pitched roof, and we have 6 panels on the flat portion of the roof that is in the rear of the house. We have some elevation drawings as well. This is the right elevation, this is the left elevation, and the flat roof.
We're not seeing, are you sharing your screen?
Oh, I can't see it. Let me try again. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. All right, we have 22 panels, black on black. We have on both sides of the pitched roof, and we have on the flat roof that is located in the rear of the house. This is the elevation. Yes, as you can see, we have the 2 pitched roofs and the flat roofs that is really not visible from the ground. And this will be full black solar panels. This is a 9.57 kilowatt solar system.
Okay. You looks like you're mounting panels on the north side of the roof. Is that going to get any sun at all?
Yeah, we went over, we had to work with the roof that we had. We went over the economics with the client, and they worked out. Definitely the panels in the rear of the house, these ones, they will work at different capacity than the one on the south, but overall, this was the space that we had at our disposal. It's an interesting roof. There is a lot of skylights and obstructions that we had to work with.
Yeah, unfortunately, that causes a really haphazard looking installation. But I'm guessing nobody can actually see that.
Yeah, the house is pretty tall, so really from the street you can't really see the roof. And there's also like some big trees just covering the facade here. So yeah, really you can't really see the roof. This side is very almost attached to the other house. There is just a few feet between the houses.
So if you, can you stop there for a second?
Yes.
On the EPDM, the flat roof in the back,
yes,
you're mounting solar panels on there. There's a couple issues I see. One is it looks like the neighbor has a window right above solar panels. And so this could cause a problem with reflections. This has happened before, and certainly very wary of letting that. Yeah, see the window there? You zoom in.
That's as far as it goes. I do have some drone photos. The one.
Yes.
So these panels here, they do have anti-reflective coating. You see these ones that they were mounted on the old house. This is the older type of solar panels that they were more rudimentary. These ones, we install solar panels nowadays on large fields. We even installed panels near LaGuardia Airport, and we never have reflection issues.
Did you send notice to that neighbor house?
Yeah, we sent notices to all neighbors surrounding the house.
All right. Is there anybody raising their hand? So the other issue with the flat part of the roof is, I'm not sure if you looked at our code. But it states that when there's no cornice or parapet, the setback from the roof edge is 4 feet.
What do we have here? Oh, okay. To make it 4 feet, we would have to remove a row of panel. We would have to remove 2 panels to make it 4 feet. Is there anything we can do to remediate that without removing panels?
That's the code. I don't have any. You got to conform to the code.
Okay. If we remove these 2 panels, we would have 4 feet and 4 feet on both sides, and then we can push this all the way to the back instead of being close to the edge, and that will be probably 4 feet on this side as well.
So what in the red there, the that hatched area, what is that size?
That's 36 inches. So it's 3 feet. One panel is 67 inches.
What's the panel length? Oh, 60.
67.
Okay, so if you take away one panel, then you're going to be able to put 4 feet on each side.
Yeah.
One row, and then you've got to take away, oh, and then you're going to shove it all the way back, so it'll be 2 by 2 panels. Give
That's
us
what I
4
was
feet
thinking.
on all sides.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the distance is here from the wall of the house. That's something that we will need to check. I
So-
might have any measurement actually. Give me one
Sorry,
sec.
and just to clarify, the code states that you said if the roof doesn't have, and what is the term you used?
It states cornice or parapet. So that's, I guess what they're getting at is you've got to have some sort of visual block if you're putting it flat.
There is something actually on on that side of the roof. I'm not sure what it's called. There's like a little, it's almost like a mini wall, I guess, that goes up on one side of the roof, the one that's near the driveway. I'm Googling now what.
That would be called a parapet. Do you have a code stating the minimum height that the parapet needs to have? Usually when there is a provision like that, it's more for fall protection rather than visual obstruction, because visual obstruction, we're not really looking at a visual thing here. The panels would be flat to the ground. We're looking at no more than 4 or 5 inches raised from the level of the roof.
I think the intent is that it's just not visible. So if your panel, your finished panel height to the top of the glass is 6 inches, then your parapet would need to be 7 inches.
Sorry to interrupt. Just to be clear, so I think there is a parapet on the side that's adjacent to the driveway.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you see here the panels, the way we are installing it here, we're just leaving them flush on the roof, on the asphalt roof there. So yeah, these are really just the size of the standoff plus the panels. So we're looking at no more than 4 or 5 inches. It will be the same type of attachment that we use for the sloped roof.
Right, so your parapet would need to be taller than that. So if there's a parapet on the driveway side, then you can shove the panels all the way up against it.
Okay.
On the other two sides, though, you're gonna need 4-foot clearance.
Even if we have the parapet on all 3 sides?
I didn't hear him say that.
We can verify this. We can verify the height of the parapet and we can, what's the best course of action here.
I just looked out the window. There's a parapet on the side opposite the driveway as well.
Okay.
So
then you need 4 foot from on the back if there's no parapet.
So from this side here, we don't have anything there.
Yeah, no, there's nothing there.
Okay. So if we are able to push this all the way in the back, and that makes it 4 feet here, we can save the design as is, just move it back. Would it be acceptable to instead build up a 6-inch parapet to cover the obstruction of the panels instead?
That would conform to the code, yes.
Okay. I will consult with my client and see which option is the most appropriate here.
Okay.
What's the best course of action for when we make a decision? Do we need to go through the architectural review board again?
Yeah, you have to come back. We need this on the drawing, parapets, the measurements. Because it goes to the building inspector when they do final inspection.
So you would want to see the parapet on this elevation drawing here?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you have your site inspection, they're going to look at that. They're going to measure 4 feet from the back or measure the parapets higher than the finished product.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway,
We'll,
yeah, you should come back with the whatever solution you come up with. Is there any other questions? Okay. So, yeah, well, so let us know for the next meeting, and then we'll look at it.
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is 2025-55 34 Station Road.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight?
Good.
This is Douglas McClure. I am the architect for Moreira Ronaldo's at 34 Station Road. We have a little exterior window pane, which I will share my screen to show you. All right, can you see the drawings there?
Yes.
Great. So let's get to the elevations. We're doing an interior renovation, and we are doing some work down in the basement and making it egressible so they can use it for some play space. So we've taken, if you look at drawing 1 over here, this little vent window, we're expanding that and making a little cutout in the wall so that it's an egressable window. And that is there's other stuff too. Then we're also adding these 2 windows here to match the windows that are on this exterior elevation. And the last thing is we're putting a door here from the kitchen. Everything is to match the existing in color and style. And that's the extent of the work.
All right, looks good. I have no questions. Anybody else? All right, I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
All right. Next is 2025-5611 Hancock Place.
You're here to represent the application. Can you please hit the raise hand button? Thank you.
Good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I'm Christina Griffin. I'm the architect for renovations and extensions to the Klein residence at 11 Hancock. And I'm putting up the drawings right now. I'm going to share them with you. Okay. This is our cover sheet. We have been working on this house in different phases, and we're tonight I'm going to show you the drawings that we have for an elevator addition and a new trellis. These changes can be seen on the back of the house and a little bit to the side of the house. This is our site plan, and in yellow you can see the shape of the patio on the rear of the house. It's an existing patio and we're building a new trellis on top. This trellis was already approved by the ARB about a year and a half ago, and we decided not to build it, but now we're bringing it back and hoping that we can get a permit and move ahead with it soon. On the left side of the house and the side of the house, we have designed an elevator that is going to make the house an aging in place residence. It's a feature that is important to our clients. It will allow access from the lower level in the back of the house all the way up to the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor is finished and has a bedroom suite up there. We're also planning to put a new Belgian block around the edges of the driveway. So that is also highlighted on our site plan here. These are our floor plans just to show the exercise room. This is a room in the basement where we're tucking in the elevator. We found a location we thought would be the least, visible place for the elevator. So it's tucked inside the house, and it does come up above this floor onto a deck, which I'll show you in a minute. And then down below is the plan of the patio with a new trellis on top. We just have different floor plans as we go up through the house of the elevator. The 1st floor here, and then 2nd floor, and then attic plan. This addition for the elevator is oversized and has windows in it because we wanted this addition to harmonize with the original house as much as possible. This is our west elevation. To the right, you see the new trellis, which is over the patio. Down below, there's a blow up of the trellis over the outdoor kitchen. This trellis will have composite materials and a white painted look. On the back of the house, this is the south elevation where there's so much sun on the patio, which is one reason for doing the trellis. This is showing the trellis that is going to have the curved shape following the shape of the patio. And the columns and the outriggers and all the details will be composite material and very similar to the trellis that exists, which is down to the right on the lower level where the basement is. Under that trellis actually is a door leading to the exercise room that allows access to the elevator. And to the very right on the south elevation, you can see the side of the elevator coming up the side of the addition. It comes up through the solarium and then up onto the deck above, and then all the way up to the 3rd floor. This is another view of the elevator addition. We've designed it so that it looks like a small addition to the house. It will have all the same trim details, corner boards, rake board details. There's a return of the crown at the eaves to match existing. We have 2 new windows that will have the same trim detail as existing, and the clapboard will match as well. The left side, you see the opposite view of the new proposed trellis. Let me get this, shrink this down a bit. And this is a sketch that I prepared to give us a visual of what this elevator might look like from the backyard looking up. And these are our color samples, just showing that we're matching the existing kind of a yellow beige clapboard and the same white color of all the trim, which is also the white color of the trellis will be matched. And here are the photos of the house. It's a really majestic, elegant home with a lot of symmetry, beautiful entry. And the back of the house, which are these views here, is where we're putting the new trellis over the patio. And to the right is a photo of the house. We're showing the lower trellis that already exists on the basement level. And to the upper right is where you'll see a portion of the elevator. This is where the addition comes up over the deck. And these are just photos of houses in the area. They're similar, a lot of symmetry, a lot of very classical type details to a lot of the homes, very similar to 11 Hancock Place.
So those windows that go into the elevator shaft?
Yes.
Is it like tinted, or can you see just like you see the elevator go by, or what?
They're really, this is really, you can, well, we haven't, we're exploring that still, because if we can, we'd like to see through the elevators, through the windows. It's a possibility. The windows won't be tinted. They'll be the same, match existing.
So you're gonna put like a glass panel on the elevator?
Yes, that's the idea, if we can.
All right. Do you know when this house was built?
I should know this answer. I think it was in the it's not a very old house. It's I believe it was built possibly in the 90s.
All right, I have no questions. Anybody else? All right, I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Right.
All right, next is 2025-5756 West Clinton.
Hello, this is Annie Menace. I am the architect for from Garrison Foundry for this project at 56 Clinton. And I would like to share my screen if that works for you.
Yes.
Thank you. So we're talking about a house that is this Victorian little gem, and our clients, Lucy and David, bought it 2 years ago. They've started a family since. They have a little child, and we've been before planning and zoning because a large part of our project is removing the pool. So we're taking away the pool and we're providing a sketch, if you can see this to the right, which we're creating more of a garden. And the reason why we're before you tonight is not as much about the pool, but in general, the project is about preserving the house and trying to create something that is integral and natural to this like beautiful little Victorian gem that's here. And the reason why we're here tonight is that they've inherited this kind of, for lack of better words, it's a accessory garage that was built throughout the years and added onto, and it is in somewhat decent shape, but it's not repairable. So we're looking to repair it and create a open sort of dining pavilion here instead. So our hope is to create within the existing character of this house. We want to make it feel as if anything we add to the structure is going to feel like it's always been here. So we're creating a little open dining pavilion and then an existing storage shed. So keeping within the characters, we're also going to keep some of the characteristics of this house, in that we're going to try to recreate the cupola, and we're going to actually reuse like some of the windows. But this is the sketch to the right, just to introduce you to the project. It's very natural. And then this is the site. The site itself is fairly limited. So that's another big reason to remove the pool, because they want to have a little bit more entertaining space, a little bit more dining space. So really the project, to keep it simple, is to create a storage shed over here and then a dining pavilion. And as you go through our presentation, we have kind of clipped them because we've already been through planning and zoning. But as far as our presentation to you today, we wanted to show you, existing structures in the neighborhood. It's a very charming historic part of Irvington. And this is the location of what we're talking about. And that what we're trying to create is really just more floor space for them to enjoy their property. Like they have a very small parcel, even though, it's a nice size house. So we are removing the pool, and then where this existing structure is, we're going to just kind of open it up and try to repair and recreate as much as we possibly can. A little bit of a covered dining area, and then the rest of it will just be storage. And then we also have like very basic, this is showing like extending the patio, and then over here will be like raised garden beds, and then the storage will be here. And in general, like we want it to feel natural. We want to make it almost feel like it's never really been, it's always been that way. So I think on some level, what we are creating with the recreation of this cupola and all of the details throughout this house, it feels almost like this was like an old stable structure. And the rest of it is just a little storage. So even though we're recreating what's there, we want it to feel as if it's always kind of been there. So it has a little bit of like a stable essence, but this would be dining area, and then this would be storage shed. And then there's a minor part of our project that is putting a green roof on this existing, the house has a very deep overhang here. So we want to add a green roof here. And then if you could imagine, like we're going to kind of open this up and have a little dining area and then a storage shed. It's a very simple project, really. It's just about kind of making this space more useful, more amenable to a family, a young growing family. So we're removing the pool and then creating a structure that harkens to what could have been there, but it will be mostly, you know, new construction. And then as we go through our presentation, it's, you know, this is we're limiting and we're reducing the existing structure is much bigger. So we're sort of reducing the size so that they can get more patio, more kind of entertaining, more family space. And then as we go through the drawings and then we do have like, yes, and we might paint the house. I know that's not part of your purview, but the siding would be the same clapboard cedar siding that's here, and just kind of recreating and extending what's there now.
Do you know when was the house built?
Late 1900s, I believe, or yeah, 1870. So really, like our intent, and it can sound kind of corny at times, but really our intent is very much to preserve. Like the clients love this house, I love this neighborhood, and we did go through, you know, like, oh, this existing building, you know, like a lot of buildings, it's just you can't, like, we're preserving it. We want to preserve it, and by creating this new structure that not only salvages, like we're salvaging some windows, and then you can see on our elevations, actually, the only new windows we're adding these little round windows, like as part of the dining pavilion. But it's very simple what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it cost like effective for the clients, because it's wonderful to inherit something like this, but also it's not it's not amenable to a family right now. You know, like they want to have more space. So we're gonna have a garden out here. And then in front of the garden, we'll have like this beautiful area to like have dinner with their family. Like this is their kitchen right here. So you could walk out, have a nice kitchen. And then part of the project is really giving a little bit more yard. A lot of these historic homes, as you know, don't have a lot of yard. So we're trying to kind of give a little bit more yard back, as you can see with the play structure. So yeah, that's the goal of the project. And we're really trying to, we will recreate all the details in the house. We are interested, like we mentioned, in repainting the house to go to this final slide. And then just making it uniform and like giving the house unity with the new and the old.
So that if you stand that picture for a second, that wraparound porch.
Yes.
It seems an odd transition into the existing accessory building.
Well, it's not odd because it's existing. If you can imagine, if you go back to this, it's basically keeping. So currently, you know, like a lot of these beautiful historic homes, like this porch has this very large overhang, and we are committed to preserving it. We want to create a little bit of a green roof up here, and we have the details on our drawings, but we're kind of putting the new dining pavilion here, and in including that overhang detail, I think is natural because these buildings historically were connected. And so the dining pavilion, I mean, just to go back to like, yeah, it does overhang, you know, it's going to overhang as far as it naturally does as a house, I think. And so it's really about creating something that's more open there and kind of receiving a little bit more of a garden pavilion there.
Okay, so the new building, it looks like shifted a little bit to the left. That overhang's not.
We're actually keeping the footprint the same as far as this exists. So it's hard because a lot of these historic homes, as you know, have these corridors. So this house has existing. This is where the existing wall is for the accessory structure. And we're keeping that. It has a funny little like corridor behind it. And we didn't want to connect it. We didn't want to like put the house right against it because it has this little, I think they probably had like help with like with, they would be like a access alley back here, but it exists now. So we want to keep that footprint now, basically. You can kind of even see that here. It's not right against it. There's a little alley and there's a little door in between the two structures. So that is where our new dining pavilion would start. And yes, you are correct and perceptive to notice that the roof kind of overhangs. But I think that's nice to kind of keep with that historic, I don't know, the character of it kind of dying into that wall and then picking it up with this little, it's really more than anything, it's about just having entertaining space, just kind of to like open up the lawn for their kids and have a little bit more patio. So instead of having, this big structure here, we're going to just kind of open it up where it is now and have a place to dine.
Okay, you've answered all my questions. Any other questions from the board?
So the dining pavilion is not connected to the main structure at all, is that right?
Yes, correct, exactly. So there's this existing alleyway of the house. You can kind of see it here. So there's a little bit of a barn door, and if you open a door here, you would go back behind the house, and there was a little. So we're preserving the existing conditions. We're not trying to change that, and we kind of like that funny character. So we're going to start the dining pavilion there, and it really is to make this project much more simple. It's simply just a dining pavilion and a storage shed. It's just an area to eat and like kind of extend their area to entertain as a family because their kitchen is right here. So they can like walk out, have dinner, go pick something from the garden. And then like we have more storage for like lawnmowers and like kids equipment and stuff. And that's it. But we're very conscious of trying to keep within the character of the house and recreate the details that exist now.
So the green roof is going to be on the new
The green
dining
roof.
pavilion?
Yeah, so the green roof is only because the house is, as you could see, the house is it's charming Victorian house, right? But a lot of these windows overlook, this is the roof that you're looking at here. As you can see in the bottom right, the window, sorry, this picture, that is where like the primary bedroom looks out and other rooms look out. So we thought, to go back to the upper left picture, we're not changing anything about the house with the green roof, but it's more of a nice quality of life thing for the client and also good for the environment. But we would transform that existing somewhat flat roof into a green roof. And it would be much more pleasant when you're opening your, bedroom in the morning to like look out at like sedums and green roof plants rather than asphalt. If that makes sense. Over here. So we're not actually changing any of the architecture. It's just about planting. This would just be planting, like nice, like a subtle, because a lot of the house does look over, it has very deep eaves. So we're like, it's nice to look over, especially here where we're intending it.
Any other questions? All right, I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Great. All right, bye.
Right, next is 2025-5847 Beechwood Road.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm sorry for the delay, Randy. How you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Good. James Crop from Studio Park, representing Evan and Andrea from 47 Beechwood. I'll share my screen if that's okay. And this is, can you guys see a white piece of paper or a white PDF?
Got it.
All right. So 47 Beechwood, just to familiarize yourself. This is a proposed garage addition over an existing garage, adding a couple bedrooms and a bathroom. Fairly straightforward. All the materials are match existing cedars and siding. This is just to give you the location. The focus of the area of work is where this basketball hoop is. That's going to be going away. And then we're going to be adding an addition over top of this. The garage doors stay, the rest of the house stays. Everything's going to be ostensibly paint to match. I'll take you to the elevations, which is the main portion. I'll just show you the plan real quick. So existing garage here, over top of the garage and existing mudroom, 2 bedrooms and bathrooms. The major change in what you see from the street is essentially this elevation. Existing garage doors, as I showed you before, adding a gable forward and a cross gable the other direction. Windows to match the existing windows in the front. It's a bit of a mixed bag. The back of the house has mullions. The front of the house does not. So we're doing no lights in the front to match. More lights on the back to match. So that's the back addition. And then the side as well. This is what would be the east side. Is the windows to match the side elevation windows. That's the bulk of the scope. And look forward to any questions.
I have no questions. Anybody else? No. No questions. I move to approve the application as stated. Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
That's good. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Next up is 2025-59 Castle Road Lot 3. Yes.
Hello, all. John Malone, Curry Simone Architecture, representing the Spencer project. We're in front of you tonight for a first phase of the project. The project is for a new house near Halsey Pond. The first phase is to install a planted conservation buffer. When that project was subdivided, or when the land was subdivided, there was a conservation buffer of native planting along the border of the property with the Halsey Pond property, or the part that faces most south. So we're here just for that piece right now, and included in that part of the project is part of the final permanent fence that would be in place. So really, we're just asking for approval for that fence. I can share my screen.
This conservation buffer, where does this come from?
So the conservation buffer is, if you can see this, that's not really a site plan, but if you look here on the architectural site plan, there's a section here that is gray, and Halsey Pond is this way, and this area, as part of the approval of the subdivision, not the house, but as the approval subdivision, this area needs to have non-native plants taken out of it and new plants put in that are native plants, and it needs to be, it's acting as sort of a buffer area for the development relative to Halsey Pond.
Okay, so this is a requirement that came from planning?
Yes, it was required of the subdivision. So, and part of the requirement of the approval was that the sequence was that before we install the house, and there's also a sewer upgrade that's happening, before we do that, they want the conservation easement in place first. They want it protected, and then they want us to build the house not going back into that conservation easement. So we're trying to move this part of the project forward first. But part of the project that you can see here, I can draw quickly. is that there is a fence around the house that's sort of doing this around the property. You guys can see that coming into the corner of the house. It's a pool fence, but also protecting the backyard planting area from deer. So that fence is part of the final project, and the part that's in the conservation easement that we're installing as part of this first phase is we're installing this portion of the permanent fence right here, and then we're putting a temporary fence in here to protect the plantings while construction happens. That makes sense. So we're in front of you now for the permanent fence, which is it is shown on the drawing set here. It's an aluminum fence with a deer fence topper. The aluminum fence looks like this. You've seen a lot of these in your capacity on the board. This what we like to use the bronze color. We think that it blends in better with the landscape. It's sort of the color of tree bark, and in this location, we think it will blend better. So that's really the limit of what we're in front of you for today, I believe.
So you have a deer fence topper on this, but not over the gate?
Yeah, we have a deer fence topper on it. It's a deer fabric, and the posts extend higher than the you know, basically extend up to collect that deer topper. That makes sense. And the point is, we don't want it to feel like you're in, you know, in order to protect from the deer, which is again a requirement of the conservation easement, we had to protect that planting from deer. You need to go higher. The fence limit in Irvington is 6 feet for a fence. That's not high enough for deer. So rather than have two fence systems, one for the pool and one for the deer next to each other, we sort of turned it into one assembly.
Oh, I see. So you take the topper off around.
Yeah, take the topper off.
Can the deer just jump over the gate there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a solution for the two gates. Well, I guess we may have to extend the topper on the gate if the deer get in there. But the goal is, you know, to hopefully they'll be deterred by other things in that area.
And that's the temporary fence on the bottom?
Yeah, the bottom it's temporary construction fence. It has, you know, base, and then it's a construction fence.
Okay. All right, I have no questions. Anybody else?
Do you have a picture of the topper?
I'm sorry, I wasn't hearing that.
Oh, do you have a picture of the topper?
We don't have a picture of the topper. It is deer fence material right now. We are experimenting to make sure we're using the best deer fence material. It may end up being 2 wires, if we can get that to work rather than the mesh, because we're really trying to make it as invisible as possible. So we're sort of doing some mock-ups and making sure it's very clean. It'll be black, right? It won't be visible.
Any other questions? Right, I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Next is 2025-60 2L Retiro Lane.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is John Conti from Conti & Conti. We're civil engineers and landscape architects. I think my colleague Matt Cordone is here as well. He's the project architect. I don't know if he's going to get promoted to a panelist as well. There he is. Okay, I'm very excited to take you through this project and thank you for your patience. Let me share my screen here and I'll be as expeditious as possible. So this is an aerial view of the existing property. There's an existing main house here, main house with a garage. There's a existing pool house here. There's actually an indoor pool and a garage back here. This is the main driveway. There's a circle that serves the garages to the main house. And then there's actually this sort of long driveway that goes around the edge of the property to the back to the garages at the pool cabana. And I'll point out that there's some really great existing evergreen screening all the way around the property. When you're in here, you can't see other properties, and when you're in other property, you can't see in here. I'll show you some other pictures of that in a moment. Here's sort of a better bird's eye view, existing house to remain, and this is the existing pool house. So the project contemplates demolishing that existing pool cabana that's over here in this vicinity, constructing a new pool cabana, a proposed pool, a sport court in the back here, and then there's modifications to the motor court. So taking out that existing circle and providing more of a formal motor court here, and then just a grass walking path here, mown, not a man-made material, and taking out that existing driveway that goes all the way around the back of the project. The next slide I just want to show you is some photos we have around the site of the existing screening. You can see that in basically all directions. It's pretty dense evergreen screening. This photo here, number 4, is sort of where you would, the neighbor would see into the pool, but as you can see, it's screened pretty well. So that's great visual block for the pool. I know that's a requirement. And then along this edge here, you can see there's these, again, very thick screening, and all this property line screening is proposed to remain. None of that's to be removed, including this alley of trees here that's existing. The driveway between is going to come out, but the trees will stay. There's another exhibit I just want to show quickly because I think it sort of highlights the improvement to this project, even from a neighbor's standpoint. So I forgot to mention on this east side of the project here is the old Croton Aqueduct. And currently this existing driveway and portions of the building are in that 30-foot buffer to the old Croton Aqueduct. What's highlighted in red here is in that border. And then what's in yellow is over the 40-foot side yard setback. So you can see that this sort of existing configuration is woefully non-conforming. Under proposed conditions, the new pool cabana, and the proposed sport court are all fully within the setbacks, as well as outside the aqueduct buffer. So we think that's sort of a great improvement to the site as a whole. I will let Mr. Cordone talk about the building itself. And let me pull up, Matt, would you like me to pull up some renderings or just elevations?
I think renderings would suffice.
Let's see if I can find some good renderings here.
So as John had mentioned, the main program of this project is to consolidate the structures on the property to add symmetry and balance to the historical nature of the main house. Our proposed cabana does that by circling around the existing pool and taking the same angles and elevation approach as the historic building. We're matching materials with the historic building. We're using a stucco finish. We're using wood windows, clay style tile, roof, all the items that you see in the materiality of the original building. We are also working with the same heights and volumes of the original building as well. Obviously, our building is not as tall as the main house, but we are lining up our floors. We have a 2-story structure that's going to be in alignment with the stories that are part of the original home. And this is a great rendering that shows that. Again, we're trying to just embrace the idea of consolidating the campus with these structures to create balance and feel, and to provides something that we feel is historically appropriate and gives homage to the original historic building.
Do you know the date on the original building?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
When was the original building built?
1912.
And the addition?
Our addition? The addition
No,
of
the one you're demoing.
the one we are demoing. I'm not exactly sure when that came into play.
It was much more recent, but I don't know the exact date.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Do you have any changes on fencing other than pool? I guess when you see the pool fence.
Yeah, I can show you let's see my materials here. So the pool fence is proposed to be matched. This is existing, sort of like a wrought iron handrail, and the pool fence that goes around is proposed to mimic that. That's on existing conditions. Is that what you're asking about, the pool fence?
Yes. Yeah. And is there more fencing around the property?
Yes, there's I'm sorry, say again?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, at the sport court, we're proposing fencing around the court here itself. I think basketball is what the client is interested in playing, so we don't need super high on the sides here. And this is sort of like a reference image of what that might look like in a finished condition. But I think we're planning on painting it black so it recedes.
And what about the rest of the property? Is it being fenced in?
So the planning board has asked, and let me see if I have let me go to the plan view. So, sorry, let me get to the right sheet. Go with me. Okay, this plan shows. Okay, so the planning board was concerned about noise from the play court, the sport court, crossing the property boundary somewhat. And I should mention that this sports court is sort of about 10 feet below the aqueduct. There's like an embankment here, and then it's like well above this neighbor. And then on this side, it's sort of enclosed by the facade of this building, which is 2 stories on this side, and there's like a site wall here. But to the north here, they asked that we put a piece of fencing to sort of help reduce any noise that might cross the property line. Let's see, I have a reference photo of what we were thinking for that area. And again, in that area, it's like it's pretty heavily wooded between the edge of the property and the next house. But this is sort of a reference of what we were thinking for that area, just that one section there.
Is that like wood panels?
Yeah, it'd be like horizontal. Yes.
So the new driveway, is that like pea gravel or asphalt, or what is that?
Let's see, I think I have a reference image of that as well. We were thinking, I think the client had asked for, this is sort of a reference image. It has like a apron here, and then it's like a sort of a reddish gravel is what we were thinking to sort of pick up on the roof tile in the new courtyard. And then the section, back to my site plan here, this would just be like typical asphalt to match the new portion here, to match existing.
Is there fencing between the neighbor to the south in this property?
You know, I think there is existing fencing here.
Okay.
But we're not proposing to change it at all. If it is, it's like behind this evergreen screen. We could go back to that picture if that's useful. This is that direction of the south neighbors, this direction.
All right, I have no more questions. All right, no more questions. I move to approve the application as stated. Do I have a second? All in favor? Thank you.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Very much appreciated.
All right, if there's no further business, I move to close the meeting.